We want to see the world, wherever it may take us. To learn new things.
Here we go again, we're going inside!
To go where few have gone. Join us on our adventures, our Stein Ventures. When you think of Jordan, you probably think hot weather. At least I did, and for the most part, it is hot. Wintertime is cold though. Our journey to Jordan was in May, and the weather was perfect. Not too hot, not too cold. And if you want some relief from the heat, then visit Little Petra or Sig Abared, which literally means cold canyon. The sun never fully peeks its way through the canyon, making it a much cooler hike. But to get to Little Petra, you must first travel the King's Highway, a dangerous highway because of the sandstorms. This is our story, getting to Little Petra. If you missed the last episode, we landed in the capital of Jordan, the seven-hill city of Amman. We got a chance to do a little sightseeing in the markets and eat some great meals. We also took on the historic sites of Amman, the Citadel, and the Colosseum. Now it is time to leave the busy city behind and see the real side of this beautiful country and all it has to offer. The fascinating country that Jordan is. So much history, so many stories. This episode, we begin our story on Mount Nebo. Mount Nebo lies across Israel's border in Jordan. So while Moses, in his last days, took in the promised land, God told him, "I have let you see it with your eyes, but you will not cross over into it." While the Bible doesn't specify Moses' burial place, tradition places his grave on Mount Nebo. Hello,
Hello from Mount Nebo.
from Mount Nebo. What's so special about this place, babe?
I don't know, but it's pretty neato.
Yeah, oh, pretty neato. This is where Moses came up, and he looked over the Holy Land. So you can see Jerusalem, you can see Bethlehem from here, the Dead Sea.
You can also see a very dusty valley because today's a little bit of a dust storm, but it's not like horribly bad like a haboob. If you've never heard of a haboob before, it's a severe dust storm and where there's like a complete blackout, zero visibility. So we have about maybe 60% visibility, not too bad.
Yeah, it's an unlucky day for us, and you'll get to see it at the top.
Oh, I think it's very lucky, honey.
Oh, it's very lucky.
And the day we're together is very, very lucky.
You hear that? That's my wife.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Yes, unfortunately, due to the dust in the air, we couldn't spot any of the sights. But that's okay. There was much more to see and do, like plenty of hiking trails everywhere along the hill. And all the views that you could see from the summit were breathtaking. Mount Nebo is about 2,680 feet above sea level and is the highest summit in the northern Abarim Mountains. Early Christians from Jerusalem made it a place of pilgrimage. In the 3rd and 4th century, monks from Egypt built a small church on one of its peaks to commemorate the end of Moses' life. By the end of the 4th century, an empty tomb of Moses was being shown to pilgrims on the mountain. The monks' church was expanded in the 5th and 6th centuries into a large basilica with a stunning collection of mosaics and an elaborate baptistry. Though little remains of the early buildings, the mosaics can be seen inside the present-day shrine. We spent about an hour on the summit and inside the church. It was a peaceful area. On the 20th of March 2000, Pope John Paul II visited Mount Nebo and planted an olive tree as a symbol of peace in honor of the people who now live in these lands. And if you're a museum buff, they've got you covered. There's one of those too. When we were in Egypt, we discovered papyrus paper was one of the goods that Egypt is known for. Sri Lanka was famous for producing tea. Jordan is known for their mosaics. A quick stop here educated us with the process of creating a mosaic from scratch. It takes a lot of time to create one of these pieces, but the result is an artistic masterpiece. Traveling in Jordan is easy. There's basically one highway that acts as the major artery of this country, the King's Highway. It may look like any other road, but this 280-kilometer highway is a significant historic route that is mentioned in the Bible. It connects visitors to Jordan's most notable landmarks, towns, and cities. Some of us were super tired and had to sneak in a little nap. Then things started to get a tad hairy. A dust storm started to form. It wasn't bad at first. And then it started to get worse. The wind was whipping the car back and forth. The sandstorm was thickening. We were in trouble. We could hardly see anything ahead of us. Would we have to turn around? Then, all of a sudden, the sandstorm faded away. We were saved. Okay, maybe I over-exaggerated our experience for dramatic effect. We were never in any real danger, but it was still a very cool experience. And as we got closer to our destination, the sandy landscape started to include jagged rocks. We finally made it to Little Petra, or Sega Barid, the cold canyon. We arrived at Little Petra at 5 p.m. It closes at 6. So that gave us an hour to explore this awesome site. It's free to visit, but we wanted to hire a tour guide to learn more about this fascinating place. Little Petra is a Nabatean archaeological site with carvings on the sandstone walls. It is similar to the main site and also included as part of the UNESCO site. Little Petra has a similar Sig-style entrance and includes tombs, temples, water channels, and cisterns carved out of the sandstone rock.
This is a magic
This
carpet
is the magic carpet. He will take us to the moon tonight. I'm sorry, just for the people, we are sorry, Next time we will take you with us.
Bye!
Bye. Bye. You can join this group.
Okay. Wow, a magic carpet that will take you to the moon? Sounds good to me. Fun fact about the magic carpet origin story. In Ben Shirira's story, the legendary Queen of Sheba had a royal alchemist who managed to make a small brown rug hover above the ground. Years later, the alchemist perfected his skill when he discovered that the trick lay in the carpet's dyeing rather than in its spinning process. When the queen heard this good news, she had a magic carpet made and sent it to King Solomon as a token of her love. When the carpet arrived, Solomon was busy with the construction of the Temple of Jerusalem. He could not receive the gift and gave it to one of his courtiers instead. When news of this cold reception reached the Queen of Sheba, she was heartbroken and decided not to have anything more to do with magic carpets. Without royal patronage, the alchemist could no longer make magic carpets, and the knowledge is said to have been lost forever.
This is for takeaway.
Oh, for takeaway, okay. What can I get for you? Cheeseburger. Hello. would you like one cheeseburger?
We highly recommend seeing Little Petra before tackling its big brother. You'll generate more of an excitement before reaching one of the 7 wonders of the world. And Little Petra is a wonderful short hike straight up the canyon and back down. It's not very strenuous. So if you're not in the best shape, you could be able to walk the whole trail. Just bring a hat and some water. And if you run out of water, you can buy it on the trail. Even though this site looks pretty similar to Petra, its purpose was a bit different. Historians believe this place was built during the 1st century when the Nabatean city thrived, and Little Petra was some kind of suburb. So you will not find any tombs here, but rather houses which were used by rich citizens or by travelers arriving in Petra for business. The most amazing thing about this place was that you were allowed to explore anywhere you wanted to. Climb up those stairs, enter those homes, find secret areas, and wonder, how did that person get way up there? The last part of the hike was great. It was a wonderful climb through the most narrow part of the canyon. And as I made my way to the top, all I could think of was how cool this place was. It's very adventurous. There were steps to the right of us and steps to the left of us. And finally, one last very narrow passageway was the only thing left between us and the end of this canyon. I can't wait to see what the end will bring us. I should have known another gift shop, of course. But there's more, much more. A beautiful view of the canyon to Petra. Well, this was definitely worth the hike up those many steps.
Very nice. Without I'll call it this one.
Now, where can I buy my ticket for a magic carpet ride back to the entrance? A simple flick of the finger and a soothing musical tone is created from a first-time guitar player, my wife. She's concentrating to the fullest, and soon with enough practice, she'll be a star. Later, the owner of the guitar begins to show off his talent and drops a groovy Jordanian number for us. It has a good rhythm, and we soon begin to play a friendly game of darts. It's a fairly new game to them, so I gave them a quick understanding of how the game is played, and we're off to the races.
Oh, you're the closest.
Yeah.
Oh, good job.
And on our way back to the entrance, we encountered this little guy, a black centipede. I've never seen such a big centipede in my life. My first reaction was, what does this thing feel like?
It's like a hard shell.
To our surprise, Jordan has exceeded our expectations. Our trip so far has been a wonderful experience. The people are friendly, and the countryside is beautiful. This is the experience that I was hoping to get in Jordan. We have a set itinerary, but the great thing about traveling the way we do is that itinerary is never set in stone. It always changes, and we end up finding a greater adventure. Adventures that will make us say, Jordan is our favorite country we visited so far.
Hello from Petra Moon.
Hello.
We're on the rooftop having dinner. They definitely take very good care of you, and we have our kebabs coming up soon.
Yes,
So we'll be right back.
and it smells good.
It smells delicious. They're barbecuing in the back there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back.
We'll be back.
The Petra moon was shining in all its glory. And come sunrise, we would wake up and finally witness one of the 7 wonders of the world. On the next Stein Ventures, we're halfway through our trip and we finally get to the amazing Petra. It's going to be an early rise for us so we can beat the heat and crowds. There will be a lot of ground to cover at this ancient city, and we plan on doing it all by foot and horse trolley. Join us next episode as we explore this old capital and discover the treasury from within. If you enjoyed this episode of Stein Ventures, don't forget to click that like button, subscribe, and tell all your friends.